Hello and welcome to Rathods IAS Academy. Today in this session we are going to see current affairs of 16th August 2024. So here I am taking articles which are relevant from our examination point of view and we are going to analyze those articles. So first topic is about our Prime Minister calls for secular civil code in Independence Day speech. So whenever our Prime Minister is giving speech, that is very important because you can add those points directly when you are writing your mains answer. So here you have to focus on what are the important 4 to 5 points which are stressed by our Prime Minister in his Independence Day speech. Okay. So you have to know those important points and you have to make the highlights of what exactly he said. And the next one here is Center launches new AI based surveillance system to manage pest, connect scientists with farmers. So artificial intelligence has been started today, right, in your class? So here, whenever you are writing applications of artificial intelligence, at least 4 to 5 new applications will be getting added in that year current affairs. So you have to see this. So in new applications of artificial intelligence, you have to add the surveillance based system and how it is going to help farmers and how it is going to help to manage pests. So this is one of the new application of AI. And next one here is digital boost to revive solar power installation scheme. So regarding this solar power scheme in India, we have that scheme name is PM Kusum. So actually there are some problems in this PM Kusum scheme. So because of this, there is nothing like wider reach of that scheme is going on. So because of this, to give the boost for this scheme, so we are using digital, okay, digital transformation. So here you can add one more application of digitalization, that is to even improve the access to that scheme and to give awareness about the scheme to the people. And next topic is the death of patient discharge on request, that is DOR. Lynching of healers highlight healthcare gaps in Gadchiroli. So where is this Gadchiroli area located? Gadchiroli, have you heard this? Gadchiroli, online students? No? It is a very backward area. So what happens in this tribal hamlets? So rather than going to hospitals, if they are getting any disease, what they'll do? They'll go to Babas, they'll do some mantras and they'll be tying amulets, right? So this happened in this case. Actually, one 3-year girl who is severely facing the problem of malnutrition. So what is malnutrition? Yes, they are not taking the balanced diet, right? So because of that malnutrition, that child had been admitted in the hospital, but because of discharge on request, hospital people, they discharged that so-and-so girl, and the parents of that girl, they took them to this Babas, local Babas, and finally that girl had been died. So because of this, now again lynching is happening. That means that so-and-so community people, they will go and they will beat them and they will throw pellets, throw stones, everything, right? So that is the thing which is happening. So whenever you are writing an answer regarding superstitions versus present health, yes, this article will be giving you some solid evidence to give the example that still in some areas superstitions are going on. So this comes under an example of healthcare gaps. In yesterday's article, we discussed that yes, we are moving advanced in the healthcare. So there I said you have to write the challenges. So one important challenge here is in underdeveloped areas, in tribal areas, they do not have proper healthcare. So there are some gaps. So am I making any sense? So whenever we are seeing articles, so you have to add the challenges from current affairs itself. And next you can see how can traffic which causes air pollution to be controlled. So everyone knows traffic is one of the important cause of releasing of greenhouse emission gases, and especially in cities near this what we can say, near this chaurastas or signals. So we have to wait for at least 2 minutes of time. So what happens? So at that time, what happens? The more diesel consumption or petrol consumption is happening, furthermore release of greenhouse emissions. So what are the steps that you can take? For example, tell me if you are a traffic police officer, so what are the steps you will be taking to control this air pollution during this traffic? So what can you do? Do you know any solutions or can you suggest any measures? Okay, so we can promote public transportation, for example, metros, buses. Apart from that, Okay, we can go towards electric vehicles. Next. Come on, think. Think. Huh? Ring roads. Okay, to some extent. Next. If sometimes if you off, then it won't get started. That will leads to again still more pollution. Next. Then okay, so you can use bicycle so that we can promote environment friendly transport. Okay, so next one more article is an obstinate refusal to focus on welfare. So actually, there is one article which is saying that recently in our budget for welfare schemes like MG Narega scheme for malnutrition regarding schemes, so there is decreased budget. So on that article, so they are giving some points and we are going to see that. Apart from this, there are 2 or 3 other articles which are relevant from our examination point of view. So let us see this first article. So title says PM calls for secular civil code in Independence Day speech. So what is a civil code? So what he might be talking about? Tell me. Yes, it is talking about UCC, right? Apart from that, can you guess on which points our Prime Minister might be focused? Yes, you have to think. Yes, safety of women. Next. Safety of women next. At least 3 to 4 issues might be said about this Prime Minister in his speech. What might be? Think and at least guess something. So if you're following current affairs, you can guess. Come on, guys, online students. Huh? Infiltration, that counts as safety. Next. Okay, safety of public. Next. So what is happening? What are the disasters? What are the problems in our governance? On this only our Prime Minister will be speaking, right? Ultimately. Next. Come on, tell me. Huh? So what is this uniform civil code at least? So which state implemented this in India recently? Uttarakhand. So it is the second state after Goa, right? So what is this uniform civil code? What is this uniform civil code? Yes, for different religions also we are following the same law for some public matters or personal laws like marriage, divorce, etc. Okay. So here on August 15th, our Prime Minister addressed nation during the 78th Independence Day celebrations, and he is focusing on especially publicizing punishment for crimes against women. So actually crimes against women are increasing day by day, and even in yesterday's class I said about the deadly crime against one trainee PG doctor, right? So actually, so whenever we are making awareness about this punishments what are there against women, so at least some fear will be created in the public so that there will be reducing of crimes. But is it right according to you? Yes or no? So if we are publicizing the crimes about if you're doing something against women, then is it right or not? That will decrease the crime rate in India. Do you think yes or no? So if you're not answering now, so even after once this class is done, at least think for 2 to 3 minutes, like whether this step is going to be efficient or not. And you need to have a valid reason. If your answer is yes, why yes? If your answer is no, why no? So you have to think on this also. Tomorrow give me the answer. Okay, and next one is he's also focusing on promoting of the secular civil code, and even he wants to make our India as a Viksit Bharat by 2047. So what is this Viksit Bharat concept? So in economics sir said, what is Viksit Bharat? Uh, come on, very good memory. Venkatesh. What is this? Okay, write down. What is Viksit Bharat? What is Viksit Bharat? So what is the aim of India to achieve Viksit Bharat 2047? Yes, sustainable growth. Apart from that, only sustainable growth? Hmm? 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 17 sustainable goals target is 2030, not 2047. Next thing. And get you. Okay, write down the points. What are included in this Viksit Bharat 2047? What is the initiative of Viksit Bharat by 2047? And write down aims, objectives, and mission. Aims, objective, and mission. So you have to know these concepts. So first one here is, so in this speech they focused on women's safety, and especially our Prime Minister is calling for transparency in punishment for crimes against women, and even actually society is demanding for accountability. Who is accountable? Who is responsible? Who is answerable for these crimes against women? And they are also demanding for justice. And whenever we are talking about women empowerment, if there is no proper safety or if there is lack of safety for women in our country, whether we can achieve this goal of women empowerment? No. So for this, we need to take the proper initiative. So that is the thing which mainly said by our Prime Minister. And this one is, he also focused on this roadmap for development. Okay, so that development vision is called as Viksit Bharat 2047. And it is focusing on economic growth and as well as societal progress. So both are there on a hand on hand. And next one here is, our vision is also having an important aim to keep India as a developed nation. But I don't know whether it will be happening by 2047 or not. So come up with your own perspective, yes or no. If yes, why yes? If no, why no? And this one is, even our Prime Minister, he focused on this uniform civil code, and he wants a push for secular civil code that should be implemented in each and every state, not only in BJP ruling states but even non-BJP ruling states. And even we are focusing on global diplomacy. So in this global diplomacy in international arena, India is having a very good name because of largest democracy, because of largest populous country, and even because of India is very good contributor in this peacekeeping forces also. And India is also a member of very good international organizations like United Nations Security Council, and even different organizations. India is also a member. So here, whenever we are engaging with other countries, we can also focus on improving of global partnerships, and we have to further more improve this bilateral relationship. So he focused on this global diplomacy, and he also said about we need to enhance security protocols, the security measures that we are having for especially ensuring of security of citizens, and also he focused on the national security as well. So all these things, and even he focused on inclusivity in governance. Like, who is our present president? From tribal community, right? She is from a tribal community. So here he is also focusing on affirmative actions to be given for this underprivileged sectors like scheduled caste and as well as scheduled tribes. And he said that we need further more policies so that we can promote social inclusion. Okay, that means whenever we are making any policy, so this underprivileged people also should be taking part of that, so that we can enhance our inclusiveness in the governance making process. Okay, so at least 5 points you have to remember with examples. And say this article, center launches new AI based surveillance system to manage pests and to connect farmers with the scientists. So what is this talking about? It is about NPSS. So take a note of this NPSS. NPSS is National Pest Surveillance System. So National Pest Surveillance System, it is an artificial intelligence powered tool, and this tool, it is designed for better pest management, and even they will be connecting farmers with scientists directly, so that they will be getting suggestions from the scientist. So whenever this kind of artificial intelligence tool is there, so what will be the advantages? Tell me advantages. What will be the advantages? Come on. Okay, so we can control pest so that we can increase agricultural productivity. Next, whenever we are increasing agricultural productivity, obviously we can ensure food security. Next, so we can also decrease hunger so that we can achieve sustainable development goal of zero hunger. Next. Yeah. We can incorporate technology in agriculture, that is called as mechanization of agriculture. Next. Hmm? Huh? Okay, yes, very good. So there will be no delays in decision making, right? Okay, no delays in decision making. Next. Huh? Yeah, obviously economic growth, very good. So you got around, come on. Okay, so we can control the use of pesticides so that we can decrease environmental pollution. So you got around 4 to 5 points. Aram se you can write them. Okay, now let us see what this initiative is focusing on. So this initiative is focusing on reducing reliance means dependence on this pesticides, and we have to enhance agriculture produce by increasing of crop yields, and we are also promoting scientific research so that we can control this pest properly, and it will be benefiting 14 crores of farmers so that we can ensure even proper income for these farmers. So all these are advantages of this step of AI powered design tool, that is National Pest Surveillance System. So if you see some facts here, so here this article is saying that we are including artificial intelligence in agriculture. So it is also one more new application of artificial intelligence. Okay, so that whenever we are using this AI based tools, so we can transform our agriculture practices, and even we can enhance our efficiency in this pest control, and we can also empowering farmers through incorporating technology in this agriculture so that they can make informed decisions, because they are not involving, like they will be not approaching any other middlemen who are not having the proper experience. So they are having directly connections with the scientists so that they can take a proper decision based on the disease of the plants, or which insects are attacking that crop, like that. And next one is, so we can also reduce the use of pesticides so that we can focus on sustainable agriculture and as well as environment protection. So all this need to be taken care of. And next one is, we can go for proper identification of pest at a correct time. Okay, so if we are not identifying the pest, that will lead to the loss of crop, right? So we are going for proper identification of pest through this technology. And next one here is government commitment. So government is focusing on modernization of agriculture. So it is one of the examples. So whenever you are writing an answer, in that answer, if you are quoting a point like, yes, government is focusing on modernization of agriculture, you need to have a solid evidence. So that is the way you have to cover current affairs as examples and case studies. So in this way, you can enhance your answer writing skills. Okay. Yeah. So what is this National Pest Surveillance System? It is an initiative which is focusing on monitoring, and as well as it is focusing on managing this pest population, and especially is focusing on improving of agriculture, improving of forest, and as well as ecosystem. And also it is focusing on invasive pests which are damaging our environment, biodiversity, whatnot, everything. Okay, clear? And next, what are the benefits? So we can go for early detection of pest, and we can control them at an initial stage so that we can decrease the losses. And this one is, we can go for informed management of what are the strategies which are present, what are the alternatives which are present, so what are the decisions that a farmer need to be taken. And this one is, even whenever we are decreasing the use of this pesticides, so we can also save the money of farmer who is investing more in getting these pesticides. Okay, so all these are clear, right? Yeah, say this article. Digital boost to revive solar power installation scheme. So here you have to focus on this scheme called as PM Kusum. So what is this PM Kusum full form? Any idea? PM is Pradhan Mantri. Okay. Okay. Kisan Urja Suraksha Evam Uttam Mahabhiyan. So it is a full form of this PM Kusum. So if you are writing any other examination like SSC, Railways, or any other, so they will be also asking even full form of the schemes. So you have to know that full form. And even whenever you are writing your main answer, you should not use a shortcut. You have to use full form of the schemes as well. Write the full form, in bracket you have to use the short forms. So directly you should not use PM Kusum. Okay, clear? And if you see this article, the context says that PM Kusum program, which aimed at enhancing solar energy in agriculture, and the target of this scheme, it is to generate 100 gigawatts of solar power. And actually now this scheme is facing challenge because of there is no proper land availability, and even there is very slow rate of adoption of this solar panels. Okay, now I want to ask you a question. So what will be the advantages of using the solar energy in agriculture? What are the advantages? So normally if you see in crops or in fields, so we will be using tube wells, bores. So that will be running on electricity but not based on solar power. And even if you see, we will be using some instruments to spray pesticides. So there we will be using diesel. Yes or no? Diesel. So whenever we are using diesel, so have you seen that pumps which we use to spray the pesticides? So they are running by diesel. So they will be also releasing same like how our vehicles, like two-wheelers will be releasing the smoke, in the same way they will be also releasing smoke. So it is causing environmental pollution. Okay, so advantages will be, so we can enhance the electricity usage, and even we can reduce environmental pollution. We are going for de-dieselization in agriculture. So apart from that, are there any advantages? 24/7 we will be not getting sunlight. Okay, so if you are storing that whatever the electricity we generated by using the solar panels in batteries, we can use it anytime. Next. Come on, come on. We can move towards renewable energy. Next. Come on, why are you thinking this much? You have to say, your answer should be there on fingertips. Huh? Yes, environmental sustainability. Next. Come on, think. How more production will happen? What about agriculture then? Okay. So now tell me, what are the challenges we are having? What are the challenges we are having? Yes, very good. High cost. Installation cost is very high. Next. High installation cost. I will be occupying more space. So if I am having 1 acre of land, if I am going for the solar panel, so where I can go for cropping of other things? So I can't. Huh? Huh? Agrivoltaic crops. Okay. Next. Come on, tell me what will be the challenge. So actually there is no proper awareness first for the farmers to adopt this. Next, even they will be not getting proper credit system. Okay, so these are the challenges. So whenever you are reading any article, try to see advantages and disadvantages, challenges regarding that, so that you will be getting your own perspective, like whether it is correct or not. You have to develop your own perspective because you are going to be a future civil servant, right? So you need to take a better action so that it will be helpful for the larger public. Okay, yeah. Yes, geographical locations you can, yeah. Yes, some places they will be getting good enough sunshine, but some places if there is like a hills or mountains, they will be, if they are coming under this shadow region, they will be not harnessing more electricity. That is also one more challenge. So you have to see that as well. So here if you see the details, it is saying that, so there are issues in adaptation, okay, adoption. So many people, they don't have the proper awareness regarding the solar panels, and even there are systemic barriers in our agriculture sector. So because of this, even though farmers are getting incentives, they are not coming forward to adopt the scheme. And next one is land use conflict. As I said, if they're having a little land, so how they can go for installing of these panels on land, and how they can go for agriculture. So this is also land use conflict which is there. And next one here is technological solutions. So rather than that, here they are going for using of drone technology, and if they are going for drone technology, so they will be having more advantages compared to that of the solar panels, because it is high cost, and even they can analyze properly when they are using drones. So other technological solutions are there. So because of this, yes, we have to see, but even we can use this drone technology as exactly to see how much land is there, and based on that we can go for planning of solar panel in some area. Okay, so that thing we can go. And this one is, even there is a challenge regarding capacity, like how much capacity of sun light it is falling on that, how much electricity that we are generating. Okay, so that is also one problem here. And next one here is, so we have to focus on long term vision, like whether it is sustainable in long run or not. For initially, if I am investing 1 lakh rupees on that, so whether I am getting electricity of 1 lakh or not. So it is a thing that we have to even think about before installing that. So that is the thing. So here you have to see some facts regarding this PM Kusum. It is a flagship program of Indian government, and they are focusing on what? Adoption of solar energy solutions. And what are the objectives? The first one is de-dieselization, because whatever the irrigation techniques we are using based on this diesel only, they will be running based on diesel. So we have to focus on this de-dieselization, so that we can move from non-renewable energy towards renewable energy sources. And next one here is, whenever farmers are getting access to the solar pumps, and whenever we are promoting the solar based community irrigation projects, that will be increasing water and as well as energy security for farmers. And next one is, it will be also curbing environmental pollution, that as I said. So these are the points that you have to remember. Huh? Yeah. It is central sector scheme. Yeah, next see here one more article. The death of patient The death of patient discharged on request, lynching of healers, highlight healthcare gaps in Gadchiroli. So actually this Gadchiroli is a very, very poor and underdeveloped area, and we can see mostly tribal hamlets will be there in this Gadchiroli. Okay, so actually here it is at the border of Chhattisgarh and as well as Telangana state. Okay, so what happened here is a tragic death of 3-year-old girl after being discharged on request from a hospital in Gadchiroli, which says that there are healthcare gaps which are present in some areas. Okay, so here if you understand this article, it is saying that yes, there is prevalence of discharge on request in Gadchiroli, which says there are systemic healthcare failures are there. So actually family people, why they took their girl from the hospital is, the first one is economic burden. So they are from a very low income family, so they cannot offer that much. So because of this, they want to go for other alternative medical system that is prevalent, like this babas, everything will be more prevalent now. So they went to there. And next one here is, even they are not having proper public facilities. So if they are having public healthcare facilities, they used to take that so and so girl to there, right? So even there is no proper improved access and support of healthcare system there. So that is also one important thing we can understand. And even these people, they took their kid to some baba. So here we can understand, even there are some cultural superstitions are there. And even once that girl had died, so they pursued that these witches are responsible for this illness, and they started doing lynching against them. So even that will leads to loss of communal harmony. And even people, they don't know like proper awareness about education, proper awareness about the programs regarding the superstition. So how we have to come out of the superstitions. And even the people, they don't know about the proper healthcare systems they are available. And even there is the impact of traditional healings, like after discharging of this so and so kid from hospital, so they didn't went to any other traditional practices, they directly went to this witch. So how these witches will save the life? No, right? So they need the proper medication for a disease, and actually the disease here is nothing but malnutrition. So here you can understand that again there is government failure, because government is not able to provide proper nutrition to these kids. So even though we are having many schemes which are focusing on pregnant women and lactating women and even kids, so even there are Anganwadi centers are there. So they have to take care of providing proper nutrition to these kids. So under that, they will be providing at least every day one boiled egg and one glass of milk to the kids. So again, we can understand that there is systemic failure, and even the community violence is happening there because the lynching is going on against these witches there. Okay, so here you can understand that healthcare is one of the important reason where people are getting into death trap, right? So if they are getting any disease, yes, they will be going to cure that disease. So for that, they will require more amount of money. Okay, so here government need to focus on providing healthcare services for each and everyone, and this healthcare should be affordable and as well as accessible to everyone. So these things that you have to understand from this. Okay, so that is the thing. Clear? Yeah, next see this article, and obstinate refusal to focus on welfare. So actually this scheme, it is focusing on MG Narega, National Food Security Act. Okay, so all these two schemes are mainly focused here because you know this MG Narega scheme, that is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, which is providing 100 days of employment guarantee in the rural areas. Okay, that too for which work? Non-skilled work. Okay, and it is not in the urban areas, it is only in the rural areas. That means it is creating employment. Whenever it is creating employment, what happens? People will be getting some salary, so that their living of salary will be improved. So that comes under welfare scheme. And even we have National Food Security Act of 2013. So under this, government will be giving subsidized food grains for people under this PDS, public distribution scheme. So whenever people they are getting subsidized food grains, what will happen? That will be very helpful for decreasing of hunger, right? And it will be also helpful to deal with this malnutrition. But here, what is the problem is in this year budget, there is decreasing of budget for these two schemes. That means our government is undermining this welfare schemes now. So that is the thing which is mainly focused in this article. Yeah. Okay. So actually there are some inbuilt loopholes are there in this MG Narega scheme. I can accept that. But even though in this year budget there is decreasing of budget allocations for these schemes. Okay. So actually our union budget is facing criticism for not increasing funds for this vital welfare schemes in India. So even though there is very significant poverty levels in India, so these are the schemes which are addressing poverty and hunger in our country. But even though they are not getting proper funds, so this is the problem now. So which are those key programs? The first one is MG Narega, second one is National Food Security Act of 2013, and actually they are focusing on rural areas, and we can understand that they are giving employment for this unskilled workers, and at least they are getting some basic minimal pay under this scheme, so that it will be enhancing their standard of living to some extent. So here, if you're talking about National Food Security Act, so here the malnutrition rates are very high among the children. But even though this nutrition related schemes of government, they are not focused in this budget. That is also one important problem. So if you see the welfare schemes in India, so there is refusal to focus on welfare. So government is consistently underfunding. So from last 3 to 4 years onwards, so the funds for this scheme had been drastically decreased. So this is the one important thing which is focused. So whenever the this welfare schemes are getting less amount of funds, so we can't focus on proper welfare. And even the problem here is there is increasing of poverty and increasing of malnutrition. So they are neglecting by the government. And whenever they are neglecting, so marginalized people will be not getting any affirmative action from the government. And next one is the critical social welfare schemes are underfunded. So which are those? MG Narega and as well as National Food Security Act. So you can give the examples of that. And next one here is there is neglection for this vulnerable people, especially elderly people, disabled people. They are not getting proper affirmative action from the government. And next one is there is malnutrition crisis. So whatever the article that we discussed before this, it is related to this malnutrition itself. And even regarding education also, there is declining of funding. So whenever there is declining of funding for education, what happens? Overall holistic development of that child will be get affected, and future economic development will be also get undermined. and even we can't ensure future economic growth, and we can't ensure this Viksit Bharat 2047 also if we are not focusing on education, health. Okay, so even health budget also little more like slightly had been increased because of this COVID-19. We understood that yes, we are facing lots and lots of loopholes in our healthcare system, and we are focusing on that. Okay, so that is the thing which mainly said. And here you can see one article. So how can traffic which causes air pollution can be controlled? So now tell me what are the points that you might be expecting in this article. Okay, so here you have to see the data, like which are the polluted cities in the world, so how many are present in our country. So recent report which says that out of 100 polluted cities in the world, you can see the data, 83 are present in India, and you can understand how polluted India is. And next, another report is by British Medical Journal, which is estimated that air pollution is causing deaths. So how many? 2.1 million people in India, they are dying because of air pollution who are roaming on the road. So please don't roam on roads, at least until you clear your examination, so that you can save your precious health. And next one is the second largest number after China. So first is increasing of deaths because of air pollution in China, and second one is obviously large populous country, that is India. And next one is over 99% of population breathes air that is poorer than the recommended WHO standards. So WHO will be giving the standards for health air quality. Okay, so here 99% of population, they are breathing very poor quality of air, so they don't have the proper access to the fresh air as well. And here if you see details, you can understand the severity of air quality issues. 99% of population, they are exposed to subpar air quality, that is very low air quality in our country. So because of this, what happened? Obviously, it is having impact on the health. So whenever we are breathing impure air, so on which organ the impact will be there? On lungs. So our respiratory system will be getting affected. So do you know any respiratory related diseases? Asthma, COPD, cold. Cold is also a disease, you know. What is the full form of cold? A viral infection. So many people, they will think that cold is a simple, but if you say it is an abbreviation, chronic obstructive lung disorder. You're feeling that, yeah, I'm feeling cold. Like this you will do. It is not, it takes 7 days to cure. So even if you're taking medicine or if you're not taking medicine, it will be taking 7 days to cure from cold. It is chronic obstructive lung disorder. Okay, cold itself, it is a disease. Okay, so you have to know like which are the diseases that you will be getting when you are inhaling polluted air. So why we are saying that air is polluted? So what will be there? Nitrogen oxide, sulfur dioxide, methane, everything will be there. You have to know which gas is causing what. Okay, which gas is impacting which organ, you have to know. And next one here is, even from our transport system, there is significant emissions is having. So here whenever this vehicles are moving, so have you observed like some old vehicles, they will be releasing black smoke. So in that black smoke, we will be having small particles. They are called as particulate matter. So based on size, we are differentiating into two types, PM 2.5 and PM 10. Okay, so PM 10 and PM 2.5 and nitrogen emissions, they are very dangerous, and they are releasing whenever we are using this heavier transport system or heavy vehicles. And next one here is, we are not following actually corporate average fuel economy standards. So if you are following that, we can reduce at least vehicular emissions. So whenever you are talking about vehicular emissions and reduction of emissions, you have to write about this CAFE norms, CAFE norms. So for example, if you are writing the measures like how to control this vehicular emissions, you can say like, we have to follow this CAFE norms, that is corporate average fuel economic standards. Okay, and even scrappage policy. Do you know about this scrappage policy, vehicle scrappage policy? If they are too old, then they have to be sold to scrap. So we should not use them. Okay, you have to know what is the years and amount of pollutants they are releasing. Based on that, we will be deciding vehicle to be continued or to be sold to scrap. And this one is even especially whenever we want to promote this vehicle scrap, so anyone will be coming forward to sell their vehicles to a scrap? No. Actually, Maharashtra government came up with a scheme that whenever you are promoting this vehicle scrapping, you will be getting incentive from the government. So in this way, different state governments need to come up with incentives so that we can reduce this environmental pollution through enhancing this vehicle scrap policy. Okay, and even what are the rules are there, we have to properly implement them. And even the solution is mass transit, like we can use metros, we can use MMTS, we can use what, buses, etc., so that we can reduce the use of personal vehicles. Clear? And see this article, India is still struggling to predict disasters. Yes or no? Then what we have to do? So India is still struggling to predict disasters. Yes, everyone knows. So what can be done? Come on, tell me. So take down the question. India is still struggling to predict disasters. In this context, suggest some measures to enhance our early warning system. Clear? Okay, so these are the articles which are important from our today's Hindu newspaper. So by this I'm concluding. Thank you so much for watching, and please do like this class and share this class to your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to Rathods IAS Academy.